This is the second video in the Control 101 series focused on predictive control. In particular here we're going to look at weaknesses. So just a reminder, the toolbox was released in 2023 and there's lots of resources in it now. This particular video is to focus much more on some recently added resources on model predictive control. The first video looked at the foundations of MPC, prediction and tuning, but didn't really ask the question about, is MPC a good idea in the first place? This video then is going to look at systems where MPC can fail to perform well for various reasons, to give students an understanding of, okay, when might I need to be more careful? A reminder also that this video is not looking at fine technical detail. If you want to learn MPC properly, then please go and look at other resources, such as the web page here, Chapter 8. How do you find the files that we're going to talk about? Well, launch the Control 101 toolbox, and then you'll see there's a button here which says MPC failing, and simply press that button and the resource will open. A summary then of some of the MPC principles, just to make sure you know what's going on. So you choose the input prediction, which optimizes expected future behavior using some performance measure, such as this one here, a sum of predicted tracking errors and predicted control changes. And typically we'll consider NY tracking errors and NU input changes. The key thing to note here, which this resource is to emphasize, is that the closed loop performance can be highly dependent on your choices of NY, NU and lambda, as well as the underlying system dynamics. Sometimes then, a finite horizon MPC will fail. The appropriate choices of the horizons can be highly dependent on the system dynamics, and a user needs to understand the impact of their choices on the predictions in order to understand whether the performance will be reasonable or not. This resource is going to focus on systems with what I call challenging dynamics, where it's easy to make poor choices. For example then, underdamped systems, non-minimum phase systems, and unstable systems. As a caveat, readers may note that in the literature there's now a preference for infinite horizon algorithms, but I should emphasize that infinite horizon algorithms have other weaknesses which can be equally challenging to deal with. Let's look at the particular app then. This is what the app looks like, and you'll see it's got the all sort of obvious buttons you'd expect. Here's the parameters we're going to focus on: prediction horizon, control horizon and weighting power. You can choose from a range of systems, those with difficult dynamics, and in essence you can do systematic investigations of how does the behavior change as you change the parameters. Key example here is you can see that we've chosen a particular choice of parameters where the input is totally wrong, so your MPC has failed. Let's do a live demonstration then, because that is the best way to see things in action. We'll start then with an unstable system, and what we'll do is we'll choose NY equals 5, NU equals 1, we'll leave the weighting where it is, and let's simulate. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Then let's try NY equals 10. It actually seems to get worse. And the interesting thing is, if you read the literature, people will tell you that as a general rule, as you increase the prediction horizon, you should get better, more optimal behavior. But what are you noticing here? As I increase the prediction horizon, what's happening to the output predictions? What's happening to the inputs? Things seem to be getting worse. Let's go to 50. So look a long way ahead, and you can see what's happening now is almost nothing. The system is not responding at all. So what's this telling you? That if you've got an open loop unstable system, then some of the conventional understanding with an MPC tuning may fail. It may not be obvious what to do. Let's refresh that then. Let's now go to an input horizon of 2 and see if we get the same insight. Okay. So we'll go 5, everything looks fine. 10, things aren't quite so good. 20, things have improved. And again, that's a bit perverse, isn't it? You go from 10 to 20, and things have got, first they got worse, then they got better again. What you can see is that with open loop unstable systems, things are not clean. Now, what happens if I go to a very large horizon? Here's something really bizarre. Can you see that the closed loop steady state has got an offset? And if you look at the theory of predictive control, you shouldn't be getting an offset. So this is telling you that there's something fundamentally wrong. Why am I getting an offset? Something is failing with my algorithm. Now, I could tell you what, but that isn't the purpose of this particular video. The purpose of this app is to help students explore these issues and see, okay, tuning doesn't always work, and standard tuning rules don't always work. So let's try then a non-minimum phase system. So again, let's go with a very small output horizon, a small control horizon, and simulate. What can you see here? Well, essentially, the system's unstable. It's failed. Let's increase the output horizon to 10. And now, behavior's a lot better. Increase it to 30. Behavior's a lot better. So you can see a huge variation in the closed loop behavior with some changes in the choice of horizons. And what this tells you is the choice of these horizons is critical. They're not really degrees of freedom. You've got to get them right. If you don't get them right, things won't work. What happens if we make the control horizon a bit bigger? Will it work better? Not really. Not with a low output horizon. It's still not doing a particularly good job. But it will work if the prediction horizon is bigger. So here you see an opposite insight. With the unstable system, we increased the prediction horizon and things got worse. Whereas with this non-minimum phase system, we increase the prediction horizon and things get better. Now, there are other options here that you can explore, oscillatory systems and stiff systems, see what insights you get. Okay, this is just a brief video. We're not trying to do every simple example. The idea is for you to explore by yourself. And you may also want to explore what happens as I change the control weighting. Does that make much difference? And here's an interesting point. You can see I've made the controller rating bigger. What's happened to the behavior? Hugely different. But anyway, those are investigations for the students to perform in their own time. So in summary, this short video introduces some of the resources recently added to the Control101 toolbox to support student learning of model predictive control. Now, the most important concept is prediction, which was in the previous video. And this resource has focused on how MPC may sometimes, here's the key word, fail to deliver good performance, and thus emphasize the importance of understanding properly how's the algorithm designed, what assumptions is it making, and therefore what are sensible choices that you need to make.